investigation in Renee Good's death to prevent her from being labeled as a victim in the warrant. Such BS. Oh, yeah, Morgan, we've known that since it happened, unfortunately. That's what the DA's office, where she was killed, has been saying. I appreciate you, Morgan. Lake, thank you for the $15. She says, to the guest, Jesus is knocking at your door. Will you deport him? Yeah, if Jesus was an undocumented immigrant, would you deport him?
He lives in my heart, so how can I deport him?
Okay, you should know about incarnation, fully man, fully God. Jesus Christ, fully man, fully God, physical person. If he literally came knocking on your door, would you deport him?
Like,
the silence is crazy, bro.
Well, tell us, if Jesus Christ knocked on your door, would you deport him? He's not a citizen. Keep that in mind. He's not an American citizen. So would you deport him?
I accepted him as my savior, so I can't deport him.
So you would not deport him?
You would not deport him?
Why would I deport him?
Because he's an illegal alien!
Were you trying to imitate Trump there?
Wait, but like, yeah, if you said everyone that's in the country undocumented should be deported. So if Jesus were in the country undocumented, you said you would not deport him. So that means not every single person in the country undocumented would you deport.
I'm just asking people to go through the legal process.
Would you ask Jesus to go through the legal process?
He would.
He actually does not ask. Wait, by the way, he said that. He also said that he doesn't acknowledge that Trump does not go through the legal process to deport people. So why don't you ask him to go through the legal process?
1 second, Parker. Before he answers that question, you just said that Jesus would go through the legal process. And by the way, guys, keep in mind, Jesus is coming back in accordance with the Bible. So just to clarify, it's not even a question of, well, would he? But like, you literally think, you actually literally think that at some point in the future, when Jesus does come back, he will be going through the legal process of entry to come into this country, right?
But he's going to land in Israel.
Yeah, dude, he's going to wait for the vetting process, bro.
Yeah, so he won't be a natural U.S.-born citizen. He's going to land in Israel. So when he comes...
Dean, he's going to remain in Mexico.
He's gonna Is that what Jesus is going to do? When he, tries to come, save all the Americans during the rapture or whatever? Is he going to remain in Mexico while his claim is being processed by a judge?
He's coming back on a white horse.
But he's not gonna ride that white horse into America until he has a visa, right?
Not a visa, but yeah, a visa. Yeah.
I'm crying, dude. I'm crying.
Oh my god. Oh, that's
marijuana should be illegal.
He's gonna ride the white horse in on a visa. He's gonna. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Whoa, that's really funny.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
I'm running for president in 2032.
Oh, cool. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Please don't.
Will you vote for me?
No.
No.
Why not?
The conversation we've had has not been very... Yeah, I don't think you'd be an effective president. I'll just say that.
Is that because I'm a Republican?
There's a few more things than just being Republican. I'm going to be honest.
A little bit more than that, but
Is it because I'm in a wheelchair?
No.
What?
It's not because you're in a wheelchair.
Oh. What about I have a brain injury?
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And no, it's not because you have a brain injury.
What about because I like Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
Definitely because of that.
No, don't you think I would make a good president?
No.
What about you? Are you going to run for president?
Hell no.
Oh. I just want peace. That's all I care about.
Okay. Listen. Go read your Bible, pray to God. Hopefully your beliefs will change. Let's go to move on to the next guest.
Actually, you know what? I'm running. Peasus is going to run for president.
Jesus is gonna run.
Peasus for president. What year can I run? I can run 38. 2042, 2040. I don't know which year is it.
I mean, I'll be good in. Well, you're gonna be good a little bit before me.
Yeah, we're gonna be president of the United States. Actually, everybody, if he can make it there, we can make it there too. We can do it. We can do it. We're actually, I'm actually a successful businessman. Okay, we need a successful business person in the Oval Office. We need him right now.
No,
I'm not bankrupt like Trump. I don't have 6 bankruptcies. I got 1 successful business.
Dude, honestly, I feel like the one thing Trump has done is inspired people that maybe one day they could be president. Because if he could do it, anyone could. Mick Kevin, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
22.
Is Jesus gonna get a visa when he's riding the white horse into America?
Why do you say that?
You missed the last conversation. I just noticed that you're by.
Yeah, I kind of I literally just sent the request and I got brought up. That was kind of crazy.
Good luck. Literally, you had good luck. Okay, I'm going to thank a couple people, then we'll hop into the debate. Mary, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Says, love to hear your laugh. I mean, that was really funny, so thank you for the love, Mary. Haley, thank you for the $10 for Jesus' flight to Israel and Holy Spirit 1. I needed that laugh. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you for the $10, Haley. Show some love to Haley. And Sally, thank you for the $2. And then Olivia, thank you for the $10. Who says, hello, my first name is Jesus. My last name Christ. I'd like to apply for a U.S. work visa. Yeah, that's what he'd say, right? Thank you for the love, Olivia. And then Michelle, thank you for the $20. Let's get 200. Michelle W's. She says, for a Vegas t-shirt, if you and Parker haven't hit the a Fremont Strip at Vegas in the evening, you are missing out. Oh, Michelle, I'm on Vegas. I'm in Los Angeles, L.A. But don't worry, I'll be spinning that on a LA shirt. Thank you for the $20, Michelle. And then Avril, thank you for the $10 for the $15 over on Venmo. I really appreciate you. Show some love to Avril down below. Thank you so much. And then, oh my God, Delaney, thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo. Delaney, that is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the love. Who says, I found you in Parker last summer. I've been listening ever since. I live in Hawaii, and it's weird how a lot of people are MAGA out here, considering the illegal annexation of Hawaii. First question, how do you feel about unions based? There are a lot of there's a dim union guy running in Tennessee, and I like him so far. Well, I love to see it. Unions are great. They give the workers more bargaining power against the employers, which is needed, okay, in capitalism, 110%. Thank you so much for the love. And then Becca, thank you so much for the $10 in Venmo as well. And of course, we're going to be hanging out later tonight, Becca. Not me and you. I should probably read her message. Becca asked me if I'm going to be hanging out with Parker. I understand now how that question likely required talk. You get my point, the context of actually reading it. Okay, thank you so much for the love. Show some love to all of the donors over on Venmo. That last guy left. I guess he couldn't be too patient. I'm almost done here. Dude, this one just came in. Phoenix, thank you so much for the $55 and the 55 cents on PayPal. Phoenix, that is so much money. I really appreciate you so much for the kindness. Thank you for the love and the generosity. Let's get 500 Phoenix W's. Phoenix with a 55 says, Jesus wouldn't have permission to fly his horse in government air without a license, though. So even with a visa, he wouldn't get in. Oh, no, he'd ride it across the border, right? Thank you for the $55, Phoenix. That is very kind of you. And holy fuck. Bro. Oh my God. 1 second. I gotta pull this up on the laptop. Shit's getting real. I need to make sure that this is real. In the meantime, let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here. Ooh, my ears hurt so much. Ow. They literally hurt. They are sore to the touch because of these earbuds that I've been wearing all day.
Look at this soft, weak liberal. He can't even deal with the Apple AirPods.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
It's
ridiculous, dude.
They actually hurt so much.
He needs the over ear. How dare this guy?
Oh my God, bro. Jordy, Caroline, and Danielle. Dude. Thank you. You three. Holy shit. First and foremost, Jordy, thank you so much for the $250 donation on PayPal. Caroline, thank you so much for the $80 donation on PayPal. And Danielle, thank you so much for the $100 donation on PayPal. Just Holy shit! I'm sorry, I'm just a little speechless because of how insane that is. So, first and foremost, all three of you guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Just thank you so much for the kindness. You know, oh my God, I'm just always so surprised by how generous and kind some of you guys are. And I'm so thankful. And I also just want to acknowledge that I'm also just so thankful for the privilege that doing what I do brings. And I could completely acknowledge that privilege as well. Like, I don't deserve that. No one does. Like, literally, just period. I don't deserve that. And I'm just so fucking grateful for y'all. Dude, holy shit, dude. Okay. Starting with it at Danielle. Let's get 1,000 Danielle W's down below. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for the $100. Danielle the 100 says, can't donate every day, but I watch every day. Thank you for your patience, humor, and intelligence. Living in this country is a fucking nightmare, but you give me hope. Well, Danielle, I know that you've been watching for so long now. Just know that I really appreciate you. And thank you so much for the love. And I'm happy that the live streams give you some hope. Caroline with the 80 says, my partner's escalating about his quote-unquote mustache guy was right thing he's spurted recently, and it's getting unbearable. How do you get out of that kind of relationship? It's actually getting scary now. Okay, and sorry, just need a second. Okay, sorry. Whoa. Thank you for the $80. If your partner's a Nazi, you need to get out of that relationship. All right? If like your partner literally thinks that like Hitler was right, you need to get out of that now. Because not only, right, would I argue that's ideologically incompatible with any reasonable person, clearly, right? But it's also a threat to you. If he thinks that another man was right in raping, starving, and systemically slaughtering 12 million people, what would he be right in doing to you given the right circumstance? And I understand that's like a crazy thing for me to say to you about your partner, Caroline. Okay, like, let's just all think about that cognitively. What I just told her is, like, something nobody ever wants to hear about their partner. But I think that you deserve to hear that, so you could at least make that consideration, because I value your safety. Thank you for the $80, and I hope that insight helps. And then, of course, fucking hell, Jordy. Thank you so much for the $250, Jordy. That is, like, fucking... Dude, that is so insane. Show some love to Jordy down below. That is Jordi. Thank you so much, Jordy. Jordy with the 250 says, I just want to say you and Parker genuinely changed how I think about politics and how I treat other people. I was very bigoted in my mid-teens. Now I'm 19. Being left, I'd like to say I'm a better person because of you two. Please never underestimate your impact. Much love. Well, much love back to yourself, Jordy. Thank you so much a billion times over. And I'm really happy that the streams help you be a better person. That's all I want. That's all I want. I just want the streams to positively impact one person's life. And the fact that they positively impact the lives of so many is so fucking meaningful. So thank you so much for the kind words and the crazy donation, Jordy. Same thing to you, Amy. Thank you for the 5. Desiree, thank you for the 10 who says love your debates. Thank you so much, Desiree. And then Nicole, thank you so much for the 5. And for now, it looks like we are all caught up. Let's go ahead and hop back into those
Can I
debates.
think through people? And I actually have to get off here real quick.
Oh, yeah, it is almost 4:30. Yes, please, go ahead.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Mary, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I was literally dying when that was said. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Mary. Michelle, thank you so much for the $20 as well. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. I'll definitely make sure to. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as Corinna, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $30. Thank you so much for the BEER fund. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Dean, I appreciate you having me up. I'll see you very soon, bro.
Dude, appreciate you so much for joining today, man. Have a good rest of your day.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace. All right, guys, we're going to go and hop back into those debates. But before we do, I want to read this off. Please tell that last donor to call 1800-799-7233 or go to thehotline.org for DV help. Okay, I want to throw that one out there. Before we get back to the debates, something I wanted to call out real quick is... I really like this setup. It feels pretty personal. You know, like I'm on the couch, direct to camera. I really like it a lot more than the usual setup that I run. And the more I've been thinking about it, you know, like this setup is temporary. I'm literally at an Airbnb. You guys will see a different background tomorrow because I'm going to be in a different Airbnb. But I really like this a lot. It's really cozy. It's really personal. So I'm actually going to try to like work on rebuilding my studio at home and hopefully have it emulate something like this. Hopefully better. You know, just like more like cozy, like personal type look. I don't know. I like it. Not to mention, it's like physically more comfortable for me. I like it a lot more because I'm like sitting on a couch with a pillow behind me compared to like an office chair. So my body isn't in nearly as much pain as it is when I'm sitting at my desk. But let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up in here. Only up inside of that cube, you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. We'll get you loaded up in here. We're looking for some debates. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Oh, they left. Moving on to the next guest. Guys, please do follow the rules of the live stream if you happen to be inside of that queue. We're just looking for some American adults that support Trump as president. Please and thank you. You could also let me know down below in that chat if you are MAGA and you want to come up here. And I'm actively looking at the comment section. Be honest. Let me know if you kind of like something like this. You know, let me know. Welcome in, Truth Resurrected. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
All right, man. I was going to ask you how old you are, but you are above the age of 18.
Absolutely. I am 45 years old.
Okay, man. Well, to be clear, I think that Trump is the worst president of your 45 years of life. I don't think that any reasonable person, anybody at all, even the unreasonable people, should support him. And of course, today we're going to talk about why. But the mic and the floor are yours. I want you to tell us how the hell you could still support this rapist as president. Take it away.
I don't really consider taking into consideration much of anything that's been released in the Epstein files. There's so much of it; it's just flooded the market.
Right.
The one that has flooded the airwaves. The one thing that I do really appreciate about President Trump is he tends to do what he says. Whenever he tells, the whole deal with Iran and the nuclear weapons, he went in there. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. Everybody else wants to, facilitate these guys and play games with them.
Actually,
Obama sent in, a pallet of freaking money to try and buy them off. That's where I'm at on this.
Oh, we have a lot to talk about.
I'm not thinking that he is the best president that we've had.
Yeah.
I come from Reagan. I was alive during Reagan, and he was the best.
Okay. Well, even just from your first 3 or 4 sentences, we have so much to unpack and to go through. So first, you said that Donald Trump keeps a lot of his promises. No, that's not true. First term, ran on building a wall between America and Mexico, said Mexico would pay for it. End of his term, built less than 3% and stuck that bill to the DOD. He also said he'd pass an infrastructure bill, never got it done in 4 years. Biden got it done in his first year with a worse split in Congress. Okay? Second term, he promised he'd make the price of groceries go so low on day one our heads would spin. Year and a month into his term, they're up by 3% according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. He also said that he'd end Russia's invasion of Ukraine on day one. Once again, over a year in, it is still raging on. And finally, he promised no new wars, and look at us now. He started a new war in Iran. And funny enough, you follow it up by saying he says what he's going to do, and you reference destroying the uranium enrichment sites in Iran. Well, it's funny because even in accordance with his own actions, I guess he didn't get that done. Because Israeli intelligence and American intelligence have been suggesting that Iran had 90% enriched uranium, and they're really close to building these crazy bombs and weapons from their enrichment facilities. And that's why Israel and America launched those preemptive strikes. So it seems like his operation actually failed 3 months back, and he lied to us when he told them when he told us how successful they were. And another point that I'd like to bring up here is you said that Obama, handled Iran a little bit differently than Trump, and you didn't like Obama's perspective of just giving them some money. First, he didn't give them our money. He gave them access to their own money that had been sanctioned and had access restricted in a bank account in South Korea. And that was a part of diplomatic negotiations as a part of the JCPOA, which was an agreement Obama got Iran to agree to, which actually made Iran a non-threat in the sense of nuclear weapons, because it forced them to sell all of their enriched uranium, deconstruct all of their enrichment sites, and then gave us 300 in-person visits per year to every site to ensure they're following the agreement, and 24/7 access to live surveillance feed of all of their sites too. And I'll actually rely on Trump for my next argument, funny enough. Trump has repeated since Obama's presidency that Obama is weak if he goes to war with Iran, because that means that Obama is not smart enough and strong enough to negotiate diplomatically with them. Well, turns out Obama never went to war with Iran because he was able to negotiate diplomatically with them, got them to agree to that denuclearization agreement, the JCPOA, and Donald Trump, in accordance with his own words, is weak and not strong because he couldn't negotiate with them, couldn't get that agreement after he pulled us out in his first term, by the way, and had to go to war.
Still here.
And I'm sorry if that was a lot. You know, I kind of said that at the beginning of my first sentence there. There was just a whole lot to unpack in those three sentences that you shared.
No.
If you'd like me to like break it down into more bite-sized chunks, I can.
You're cool. You're cool. I'm just glad that somebody was able to get in. It wasn't just throwing a bunch of bullshit out there.
That's Trump, though, because he has been throwing a bunch of bullshit out there. One day they don't have enriched uranium, the next day they do, and the next day they don't. One day they're at 90%, one day they're at 60%. One day these preemptive strikes are because they're going to attack America. The next day, even Tulsi Gabbard says that there's no evidence that they were going to attack America. One day they're going to go boots on the ground. One day they aren't. One day no new wars. One day we need to start a new war. Like that's bullshit, right? Like explain to me how that's not.
I agree.
So then Trump is. So then you agree that Trump is throwing a bunch of bullshit around.
Now I agree that anything that we try and do in the Middle East is a bunch of bullshit. As a matter of fact,
that's a good reason not to support him. I agree with you.
No, well, hang on. But there are other things to consider in that area on a global stage. The whole idea of force, strength through force. That carries a lot of weight.
I mean, Trump said that force of going back to war in Iran makes us look weak because we couldn't diplomatically negotiate. I don't know. I don't buy the strength through force thing. Like, you know, was Hitler a strong leader because of how much force he used in near global takeover? His Nazi global takeover? Did that make him a strong leader, or did that make him a crazy leader that needed to go? Did that make him?
Hitler's that one exception to every rule of humanity. He happened to be a genius that was stuck in the mind of a sociopath.
A genius that couldn't get into art school.
Yeah, exactly. And
I don't know. I don't think he was a genius. Not at all. I think that he surrounded himself with.
Yes,
I think that he surrounded himself with narcissists hell bent on damnation. And that's why the Reich was as successful as it was. But I mean, this is far and away from the Trump debate. But then even then, I think that he was a bad leader not because of his. I think that Hitler was a bad leader not only because of his cruelty and genocide, like clearly, but also because he wasn't good at war strategy and was pretty fucking stupid.
Nobody goes into Russia in the winter. That's just
no one goes into Russia in the winter, and no one declares war on the U.S. Right? So,
well, you don't fuck with our boats. That's for damn sure. But yeah, Iran just
unless you're Israel, right? We don't need. Well, I'm sorry. We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. You know, just respond to the things I told you about Trump. We're getting off topic.
I really can't respond to anything that you said. I'm sorry. You are very well educated, and I don't have the notebook in front of me. I honestly wish that there was you and Charlie had a chance to get together. That would have been awesome.
Well, we did. We had a 3-minute debate about abortion.
I saw that yesterday, actually.
That was about it. I do wish I would have had a longer form discussion with him. Now, okay, if you don't have a response on that topic, that's fine. Is there any other reasons why you support Trump, or could I try to give you some insofar as why you shouldn't?
The whole thing with the illegal immigrants.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily have a problem with illegal immigrants as long as they try and assimilate themselves into American culture. Mm-hmm. I have had problems with specifically Venezuelans, and numerous times I'm in the construction industry, and they do they do tend to click together and form their unions, like these little mini unions on job sites that kind of really screws with things.
How could you not expect them to click together when the rest of the U.S. is saying that they're violent gang members who are going to rape your wife and eat your pets?
And at the same time, I don't care. Why did you come here if that, to do that?
But
Why
like, think
bring
about
the
that.
problem- why
Like,
bring
think
the
about that. Like,
problems of
like,
your-
like,
of your
like
country
clearly,
that
like
you're
clearly,
running
we will
away
see.
from into ours?
Clearly, we will see immigrants generally click together. Maybe
Yes, and
Venezuelans click together
I'm cool,
because
and
of the way that the rest of America is treating them. Right? It's like it's a defense mechanism. Let's just face the facts. Like I swear to God. I mean, I don't know for sure. I could be wrong. But I would assume that when a Somali immigrant in Minnesota sees a older white guy such as yourself, I mean, that Somali immigrant probably doesn't really want to talk to you too much because they know that there's a heightened likelihood that, you believe that they are a fraudster, kidnapping, pet eater because that's what Donald Trump has been telling you they are for the last year. So I'd say the issue is not assimilation and a lack of assimilation into the culture on their part, but rather a destruction and erosion of social cohesiveness through the creation of division on the part of the Trump administration. They are so good at justifying this machine of oppression that is mass deportation is, and we could get into the reasons why later. And a layer of that justification is getting the people's support for it, like your support. And even that is a multifaceted mechanism of its own, because some of that justification is reliant on convincing you of falsehoods, right? Like they're violent, they're scammers, they're fraudsters, they're stealing from the economy.
I've never seen violence as the ones that.
Right, but that's what Trump tells you to believe. And then the second thing is to kind of create the social mechanism where the immigrants don't really want to talk to you too much because they know there's an increased likelihood that they're going to think that they are what Trump tells you they are. It's just all a negative feedback loop. Maybe I'm rambling, but you get my point.
Yeah, I do. But it's one of the problems that's out there, and they didn't have to come here for that.
Yes, exactly. Immigrants don't have to come here, yet they choose to come here and make the country a better place, and you're ungrateful. And you're ungrateful for that. They didn't have to come make this country a better place. They chose to make this country a better place, and you want to stab them in the back for it.
I don't want to stab them in the back. If they want to, I'm all for, coming in the right way. I'm all for that, 100%.
So why don't? So you want immigrants to follow the law under threat of heavy prosecution? Why don't you want Trump to follow the law under threat of heavy prosecution? It's like, they like an unaccompanied minor, commits one federal misdemeanor that's victimless. Oh, send them to CCOT to be tortured. Donald Trump has his name illegally redacted over 1 million times in the Epstein files, amounting to 1 million different crimes by his DOJ. Oh, ignore it and praise him in the Oval. I think it's really hypocritical.
Maybe so. But fortunately, we didn't hire him as our president because of that.
There you go. That's a mechanism that you use to ignore the hypocrisy and the lawlessness on behalf of Trump. But then when I suggest we shouldn't really ignore the fact that undocumented immigrants broke the law coming in, we could explain it and how our government shares a lot of that culpability because they're the ones that made legal entry so hard. And the solution isn't deportation, but rather offering them a pathway to residency or citizenship. But as soon as you hear that reasonable justification, or you're like, oh, no, no. Bottom line, they broke the law, they need to go. But that'll never be the bottom line for Trump. It'll never be the bottom line to Trump. Like the civil court that held him liable for rape will never be his bottom line. His 34 felonies will never be his bottom line, okay? Infringing on Article 1 and 2 of the Constitution, and 7 amendments, like the 1st, 2nd, 5th, 10th, 14th, and 22nd, on top of many other in the last year, that'll never be the bottom line. His first term, he passed a bump stock ban. SCOTUS ruled it as unconstitutional. In his second term, he told his DOJ to find any way to ban gun ownership for law-abiding trans-American citizens. Such a threat to our Constitution that even the far-right NRA publicly spoke out against it.
The argument that's being used on the trans thing is arguing that that trans people don't necessarily exist. It's a form of mental illness,
Okay.
and
yeah,
anybody
yeah.
with mental illness shouldn't own a gun in the first place.
Okay, so, well, I mean, first and foremost, no, being trans is not a mental illness. There's not a single institution of medicine or science that would say otherwise, by the way. And if it were to be, and you were right in telling me that mental illness should disqualify you from gun ownership, that being trans makes you mentally ill, let me ask you a question. Does being a rapist make you mentally ill?
Probably, I would say so.
Okay. So, if you're a rapist, you're mentally ill, you shouldn't be able to own a gun either, right?
Not really correct.
So then why are you advocating for giving one access to the nuclear codes?
He hasn't been convicted of anything yet.
The court did determine he did rape a woman.
He was you're saying that he was criminally prosecuted.
Not criminally,
And
civilly.
There's
Is
a
this
whole
where you
different-
tell me you don't believe civil courts?
No, I believe in civil courts. I'm just saying that the burden of proof is completely skewed.
So was there
When it
not
comes
enough proof in the civil court that proved he did it?
I don't think either one of us were in the courtroom to determine that. We have to go off of hearsay.
No, we get to go off the court documents that prove he did
Yes,
it beyond
we
a
do.
reasonable shadow of a doubt.
Do you have those? Have you gone over those documents? I have not. I'll agree.
have.
I'll admit.
I could share the evidence with you if you'd like.
If you could post it somewhere in the comments later on.
Well, I mean, I'll
I'm
just.
not going to ask you to.
I don't mind. No, I don't mind. So first we have the direct evidence, which was E. Jean Carroll's testimony of what happened. She then cooperated her testimony with therapist notes from the 90s, indicating that she was raped by Donald Trump, alongside the corroborating testimony of 7 of her friends that she had told this to over the years. Then we also have other direct evidence, like the fact that she had the dress that she was raped in by Trump, claimed that had Trump's DNA in it. She submitted it to the court. The court proved it had male DNA in it. Then they were like, hey, Trump, can we have your DNA to test against the DNA on the dress? Okay. And he said, no, you can't have my DNA. Okay, that's what a guilty man would do, especially considering the fact that this guilty man also testified to the fact that he has never met her before, which was then proven to be an inconsistency because she responded to that by giving the court a photo of them together. Another inconsistency in his testimony was when he said that he would never do this to her because she's not, quote unquote, his type, but then confused a picture of Marla Maples to be E. Jean Carroll in deposition. Okay, Marla Maples was his type, therefore E. Jean Carroll is too, so those are 2 lies. Then the third big piece of evidence here would be the fact that he said he likes to do what he did to her, access Hollywood tapes, grab him by the pussy. Don't ask first, that's what he said. All right, and well, what did the court determine? Well, they determined that he unconsensually grabbed E. Jean Carroll by her female member and forced his fingers inside without asking first. And then the fourth really big category of evidence would be his character priors. He's just done other things that a rapist would do, significantly increasing the likelihood that that court was right. Boasted about sexually exploiting the beauty pageant contestants at Miss Teen USA, Miss USA. That's something a rapist would do. Had it on a 10-year-old, said he'd be dating her 10 years. That's something a rapist would do. Access to Hollywood tapes, what we just talked about, that's something a rapist would do. Having 40 plus credible accusations, that's something a rapist would do. Being best friends with Epstein, knowing what he was doing, sending him letters depicting the naked body of a girl, the statement, may every new day be another wonderful secret. That's what a rapist would do. So I think in consideration of all this evidence, direct, indirect, and inconsistencies within Donald Trump's testimony, we can agree, beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt, he definitely raped her.
And we'll look more into that.
It's worth it. I mean, it's worth looking more into it, not just for the sake of your education, but for the sake of our country.
No. Here's the thing. This country was founded with an idea, and that idea is what I hold on to. What I wish I was, for medical reasons, I was not able to join the military out of high school. But it's one thing that I've always had the utmost respect for is the people who have given their lives in the idea of what this country is and what this country was supposed to be. And with that, I see in Trump, he was the best. He was the best candidate we had, man.
I think if you support and respect those who gave their lives in the military, you should despise Trump. They gave their lives to protect the Constitution. Donald Trump has called for the termination of the Constitution. Donald Trump has said he doesn't know if he has to hold by the Constitution. And Donald Trump has infringed on the Constitution. You should despise him. That's actually one of the reasons why I despise him. My great uncle was drafted in Vietnam. He's one of the 500 MIAs. A helicopter got shot down over the sea. And one of the reasons why I despise Trump is because my uncle lost his life in the name of protecting the Constitution from enemies abroad, even though that was bullshit. He didn't need to go to war in Vietnam.
No,
Still yet, I would never support a president who defiles the very thing my great uncle lost his life to protect.
I don't know, man.
That's valid, right? I think that's.
Yeah,
I think if it was anybody but Trump, you'd get it. But I just think that when it comes to Trump,
one of the things we had said
okay.
with Biden was such, a non-president. In my point of, from my perspective, he was such a non.
I know, because from your perspective, a president is a rapey loudmouth who hates everyone and wants to host a UFC match on the White House's lawn.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I want to support Trump, but I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, we hadn't had anything since we really hadn't had a president since Reagan, man.
I disagree with you there. Definitely about Reagan and about we haven't had a real president. Obama. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I lost a lot of money with his first few weeks in office.
But tell me, I mean,
all my union pension went away.
But listen, if Obama called for the termination of the Constitution and said his political opponents, Republicans in Congress, should be executed, how crazy would we have gone? What kind of revolt would we have seen in the country? Tell me honestly.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been. He would have been assassinated. Honestly,
Oh,
and I'm not
shit, dude.
I'm just letting you know. I'm just like he would have been.
You might be right. Like I won't even lie. You actually might be right.
I'm not trying to be an asshole.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. You actually might be right. I think that there's a high chance that although what you just said is like pretty like jarring, you might actually be right. But here's the thing. Donald Trump has done both of those two things. December of 2022, he went on Truth Social. He was talking about his thoughts on the 2020 election. You and I both know what they are. Just can't say them because of TikTok terms of service. And he said, because of what happened in 2020, okay, it allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, that try to justify it by saying that's what the people who wrote the Constitution would have wanted. Called for its termination. Point number one, boom. Point number two, the whole, call for the execution of the political opponents in Congress. He did this like 10 weeks ago on Truth Social. There was 7 Democrats who made a video saying that if Trump gives you an illegal order, you don't have to follow it. They weren't saying that he's already given you an illegal order, just being like, hey guys, if he does, you don't have to follow it. And then in response, he called them seditious traitors, said their treason was punishable by death, and then reposted a follower's comment that read, hang them, George Washington would have. Right? So you just said that if Obama did these two things, he would have been killed. You're actually high likelihood you're right. Will you even stop supporting Trump for doing them? Will you? I just want a yes or a no.
I wouldn't vote for him again. But I do still support. He is our president, man. I wouldn't vote for him again, but he is where he is, and all we can do is
what would the founders of the country think about that? You said that you really hold to the idea that the founders of this great nation perpetuate. What would they think about you saying that you're still going to support the president like a king, regardless of what he does, even though he's called for the termination of the Constitution and called for the execution of his political opponents? Would they say you're a good American, or would
Well, our
they
founding
assume that you're
fathers
probably one of
still
those
have to
Brits in the revolution?
Our founding fathers were allowed to duel. So,
But like, tell me, what would they have to say about you? So like, come on, dude. Like, listen, I saw a tweet the other day from this guy named Hassan. He was like, MAGA's like cattle, and they'll just support Trump no matter what. And it kind of sounds like that's what it is. Like, what I'm about to say is going to sound a little insensitive and rude, but it's okay. It's truthful. I'm sorry. You're like cattle. You're like a sheep, dude. Right? You just told me that pretty much no matter what Trump does, even if it's something so bad, any other president probably would have got killed for it, you're still going to support him. What kind of signal does that send to your loved ones, your family, your daughter, your wife, your brother, your cousin? What kind of signal does it send to the country? What kind of signal does it send to the world? We have to have red lines. We have to recognize when somebody is beneath the Oval Office, because when we don't, the Oval Office becomes meaningless. Okay? The seal of the presidency doesn't matter anymore. There's no respect there. There's no symbolization of future protection and prosperity there. It's just a symbol of power that is available to, the most Machiavellian, power-hungry, apathetic, insignificant moron with money and power, with money and fame. You know what I mean? It's like, it's supposed to represent more than what you say it should. I mean, we shouldn't support people like President Trump as president. I mean, we just shouldn't. He's hurting people. Hurting people so badly. 45 million Americans on Medicaid through the ACA have now had their premiums go up by a factor of 3 because he allowed that subsidy to expire. He's putting us back into war in the Middle East after 20 years of it, with millions of dead Iraqis, Afghanis, and American troops. He's calling for the termination of the Constitution. He refused to abide by a court order to feed 16 million starving American children during the last 12 days of the government shutdown. Like, when does enough become enough for you? When are you like, I want to join the revolution. I want to stand against the tyranny. So when I'm on my deathbed, I could tell my grandkids that I fought for what was right.
What would you suggest do about it? What would be your suggestion? Do you think Vance would be better?
What I'd suggest you do about it, at the bare minimum, is to take your support away from that fool, vote for Democrats or even Republicans. I mean, I don't think I'll be able to get you to vote for Democrats quite yet. Vote for Republicans in the midterms that are closer to Thomas Massey, and less like. I'm
kind of hoping Fetterman runs, honestly.
Yeah, less like Fetterman, and be very protested against the bullshit.
Yeah, but you don't have a solution for the problem we're already in.
The solution for the problem that we're already in is to impeach the entirety of the administration, or actually, more likely, the more practical solution for the problem. Here's the practical solution. I don't think anyone's ever said this one before, but like, this is the most practical solution. Impeach Trump, give the Oval to JD, and scare the shit out of JD. Scare the fuck out of him. JD is a smart dumbass. And what I mean by that is he sees power in Trump, and he wants to grab that power by being his lapdog. Now, we kick Trump out, kick him to the curb. Of course, JD's up next, but we'd be giving him a message, a signal, that if you engage in the same high crimes, the same lawlessness, if you engage in actions that are so deplorable and adjacent to the desires of the people, that we're going to do the same to you. And that's going to hold him to a higher level of accountability, so it won't be perfect, but it'll be better than what we have. That's the practical solution. That's what needs to happen.
100%. I would agree with you on that. I would agree.
You agree that Trump needs to be impeached?
No, I agree that would be the most practical solution to all of our problems right now.
Yeah. I mean, you got Peter Thiel. I mean, he owns JD. I mean, that's just what JD is. I think that JD is a lapdog. I don't even think that we'll see JD run for president in 2028 because he's just a lapdog. we'll probably see Marco Rubio, but you get my point. I mean, now let's just make JD Vance a lapdog to Congress. Realistically, that's what I want. That's the solution I want. I want Democrats to kill it in midterms, win the majority in the Senate and in the House, throw Trump out, put JD up there, make him their goddamn lapdog, and that's about it.
Fair enough.
Now, is there anything else that you wanted to go over?
No, you're good, man.
Okay. All right. Have a
Appreciate
good one.
your time.
Appreciate your time too, dude. Let's go to move on to the next guest. What are y'all's thoughts on that? On that solution. It's not perfect, but it might be the most practical. Right? Like, I would clearly much prefer the whole administration be kicked to the curb. But if we're talking about practicality, I don't know
I have
if
a
that'll
question.
happen.
It's very important.
Do you support Trump, Ella?
I have a question. What
I'm
state
sorry,
do
do you support Trump?
So I know when you go. It's just
I
a
didn't
question.
I didn't hear what she said. I heard Ella say, "What state do you live in?" So I know when you go. And then it cut out. But I did remove them because they don't support Trump. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, y'all. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Only up in that queue of your MAGA, please and thank you. Only up in that queue of your MAGA, please and thank you. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up in the box right now, y'all. Here we go, guys. Also, make sure that you're double tapping away on that phone screen. Shout out the live with a handful of friends. Y'all already know it. There's a couple of y'all that I do have to thank that have sent donations. Just know that I'm very grateful for y'all. All right. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up here right now.
Hey, man, why aren't you addressing the rumors? By the way, 21.
That's why I brought you up. That's why I brought you up, because that's what you're commenting on the DNC Dean live.
I know. I was there. Your eyes were a little dark earlier. You were looking a little tired. Did you get some Celsius?
Got some water. So, yeah,
Fair enough.
What allegations?
Well, you're being paid by both the Democratic Party and the Iranian Republican National Guard Corps to cause discontent. Stop laughing. This is not a bit. This is not a bit.
Are you sure it's not a bit?
This is not a bit. Like when I
you
proposed to my
really
girlfriend a few months ago.
You really got. Oh, you did propose to your girlfriend a few months ago.
No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's that same fucking guy. Dude, that guy got so many people going earlier. He was spamming in the comment section, "Dean, address the allegations! Address the allegations! Address the allegations!" And then all of a sudden, the whole chat was like, "Dean, what allegations? What did you do?" And then even when I was like getting ready to end the stream so I could go grab some food before starting the debates for the day, he was like, "You're ending so you don't have to address the allegations." So there was like a part of me right there that was bringing him up, because what if like there actually was allegations? I wanted him to tell me about them. So I have a sense of what the hell people are saying about me. So good troll. I mean, really like a really like psychologically, fucky troll right there. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Couple people to thank real quick. Over on Super Chat, thank you so much for the $10. Muscle, thank you so much. He says, "I'm a gay man in America and Trump acts so much gayer than I do. He's a total demon queen. Why are there so many closeted gays in the GOP? Bunch of down low demon queens. Love you, dog." Dude. I don't know. I'm only reading that message out loud because you started by saying that you're a gay man yourself. So I guess you're in your right to say that. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next guest. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA. Oh, thank you so much for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you so much for that support. Welcome in, Dean Debater 2026. Do you support Trump?
What's up, Chud? Yeah, I do support Trump.
Chud?
Yeah.
What's a chud?
Like a chud.
I know, but like, what's the definition of that word?
I don't know. You say a lot, so.
I know, but I'm not the one saying it right now. You are. So what does it mean?
You want to tell me?
No, I'm not the one that used the word. You are. You want to tell me?
Nah.
That's really embarrassing. Okay.
Why is that embarrassing?
I mean, you're just calling me things you don't even know what they mean. You can't define them. I mean, it kind of makes you look pretty stupid. You know?
What's the definition of a woman?
Somebody who screams, "Oh my God, it smells so bad!" when you invite them into your mother's basement where you live.
I don't live in my mom's basement.
Okay.
Wait,
That
don't
was
keep me,
good.
please.
That
Why
one
are
was
you-
creative. That one was really creative. Now, how old are you?
I'm 18, about to turn 19. Wish me a happy birthday, please, Dean.
I probably should have asked that question first. What's your birthday?
March 10th, 2007.
Oh, happy early birthday. And you support Trump?
I do.
All right, give me a second here to thank a couple of people, then the mic and the floor will be yours. Let's see. Ian, that is EAN. Thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. Ian and Jasmine, y'all know I love you. Y'all know I love you. I want to see 500 Ian and Jasmine W's, one of my favorite couples in the world, for sending that $50 donation out and over. Thank you so much for that love. Let me go ahead and read their message quickly. Pulling it up now. It's just taking a while to load. In the meantime, make sure that you're double tapping on that phone screen if you happen to be watching on TikTok. Share out that live. Repost it too. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a like on that stream. Y'all already know it. Okay. It is not loading at all. This is just a total mess. Why don't you go ahead and start telling us why you support Trump? After you're done, I'm going to thank a couple people, but I just got to pull it up. Go ahead.
This isn't strictly a Trump policy, but I do agree with the deportation of illegal immigrants in the United States.
Okay. What is one positive benefit of mass deportation on America?
It gets rid of murderers, rapists, and like you say, people who want to eat my dog.
Okay, sounds crazy. God, it's like every single guess. I swear. Are you a natural U.S. born citizen?
I am.
You're more likely to murder, rape, or eat a dog than an undocumented immigrant. Okay,
But here's the problem.
They account for
Whoa,
1% of
wait,
violent
wait,
crimes.
wait.
American men account for 92. And if you really did want to remove the undocumented immigrants that actually are guilty for those violent crimes, you never vote for Trump, because he is widening the scope of deportation efforts. See, previous administrations focus much more of the deportation efforts on undocumented immigrants with those violent convictions on their record. Donald Trump is widening the scope to anybody and everybody, including unaccompanied minors and legal immigrants, like asylum seekers. So today there's actually a significantly smaller proportion and nominal amount of undocumented immigrants with those crimes on their records that are being deported. Now, I'm going to give you a moment to think of a clapback to that. It's probably going to take a couple pulls on that lawnmower to get the brain going. I haven't touched that in a while, but while you're doing that, I'm going to thank a couple people. Ian, thank you so much for the $50 once again. Show some love to Ian and Jasmine down below in that chat who says you don't have to read that out loud. Okay, I'll keep that to myself, and I did just read the message. I'm down. We're going to do that. See you tomorrow. Thank you for the $50. Brian, and thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Says, Yodin, it's been a while since I've donated, so here's a martini on me, dude. Keep cooking. I love you. Enjoy Cali. Thank you so much, man. Shout out to you. Hope you're doing all right, Brian. Good to see you again. Thank you for the $20. Show some love to Brian down below. And then Mark, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for that love, man. Let's get 500 big Mark W's in that chat. Thank you so much for that support, bro. Mark with a 50 says, I dig the casual feel of the couch. Maybe go even further with changing the name to Casual Couch Debates with Dean Withers. Potential future sponsors. I'm just saying. Yeah, like JD Vance. Get it? It's funny. Thank you for the $50. Much love and respect, brother. Much love and respect to yourself as well, Mark. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And Anonymous, thank you for the $15, who says, Tim Sheehy, Montana state senator, accidentally broke the hand of a Marine anti-war protester. This is how we treat our troops when they stand up. This happened today. Fuck, man. Thank you for sharing that with me, Anonymous. I'll look into that. And Casey, thank you so much for the $25 donation over on Venmo. Thank you so much for that love, Casey, who says, I do wonder if we were all naive to think tech, money, and power would never get us into the shithole we're in. Losing my mind in Pennsylvania surrounded by incompetence. You're someone who I can listen to when the noise is too loud and give me confidence to educate the people in my life I still love. Well, I'm really happy that the stream helps you out. And I'm happy that you're hopefully able to use this stream to change the minds of those in your personal life. I know what it's like, Casey. Thank you for the $25. And then Megan, thank you for the $20 as well. Show some love to Megan down below in that chat. Thank you so much. Kelsey, thank you so much for the $50. Let's get 500 Kelsey W's. Thank you. Who says, I love what you do and love listening every day. I continue to learn from you every day. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for the support. Show some love to Kelsey down below. And then Joshua, thank you for the $10. Joseph with the 10 and Joy with the 15. Thank you so much, you guys. And then we are all caught up over on Venmo. Thank you so much. Show some love to all the donors down below in that chat. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've caught up. Just know that I really appreciate y'all. Then Jalen, sorry, that is Jalynn. Jalen, thank you so much for the $29 donation over on PayPal. Didn't attach a message, just sent the love. Thank you so much, Jalen. And Queen Kathy, thank you so much for the $100 donation over on PayPal. Kathy with 100 says, I'm in the house. Kathy, as always, it is a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for the love. Show some fucking love to Kathy down below. Fuck yes. Thank you so much for the love, Kathy. Oh my goodness, good to see you. That's Kathy with a C. Let's get 1,000 Kathy W's. You know I love and appreciate you. Thank you so much for that love, Kathy. And then S, thank you so much for the $20. Who says, hey Dean, it's S again, the Somali American. What you said earlier was 100% correct. That is exactly how I feel, unfortunately, and I don't even live in Minnesota. Unfortunately, you have to use stereotypes to determine who is more likely to not have negative views. Thank you for the stream. S, I'm happy I was spot on with what I said earlier, because honestly, that was just a supposition. I didn't have confirmation from a Somali American, so I kind of felt like I was maybe talking a little out of place. So thank you so much for sharing that with me. Makes me feel a lot more confident about what I said. Thank you so much, S. And then SJ, thank you for the $15. Good to see you again today, SJ. Hope you're doing all right. Riley, thank you for the $25. She says, I love you so much, and thank you for teaching me almost everything I know about politics from Brody, Ivy, and Riley. Brody, Ivy, and Riley, love all three of you guys. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope that you're enjoying today's stream. Leslie, thank you for the 5. Seth, thank you for the 5. And then Isabella, thank you for the $15 for the Daily Griff Fund. Love your debates. Well, thank you so much for that love. Tracy, thank you for the $31. Who says, hey, Dean, this is for you and Parker to grab a beer tonight. You both deserve it. Love from Scotland. Well, love to Scotland and love to you. Thank you guys so much for all the alcohol money. I probably won't be able to spend it all. I'd probably die, but I really appreciate you. Thank you. And then J Mill, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. He says, recently got into the show. I really appreciate what you do. Well, thank you so much for that kindness. And then one very last Super Chat. Odysseus with the $10 says, that solution you gave earlier to Trump was practical, given dim leadership. My wish list is a full removal of them. Same. If anybody in Trump's regime put anyone in a government position, investigate them, even the janitor, clean house. I agree with you idealistically 110%. Now back to you, man. I appreciate you for your patience. If you want to give a response to that argument, feel free.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we could unfortunately hear you.
Unfortunately, dude, why are you being so mean?
I don't know. You called me a chud.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I apologize, Dean. So, what I would like to say is, you said that undocumented immigrants account for 1% of the crime in the United States.
Yeah, violent, specifically violent crime. Yeah.
Violent crime. Yeah. So, wouldn't you like it better if that violent crime just didn't happen?
Yes.
Like if they weren't here, if they were gone back in the country of their origin?
That's where you get it confused. See, deporting them doesn't get rid of the crimes that they already committed. In fact, it just ensures that more crimes like those will be committed in the future because it hurts the economy, which increases poverty, and a lot of crime is derivative of poverty. Therefore, we get more crime.
But I'm saying if we deport them now, they're not going to be able to commit more crimes, violent crimes in the future.
Oh, like removing them from the country to prevent potential future crime. Then we should stop tourism too to prevent potential future crime. We should stop legal immigration to prevent potential future crime. In fact, we should just, make it illegal for Americans to give birth since it would prevent potential future crime.
No, I'm just saying that if they came here illegally, committing their first crime.
Removing somebody from the country because of future potential crime very arbitrarily is definitely not an argument that you'd hold to in any other circumstance, which proves your special plea in this one. And like I said, removing
I don't think you're
will certainly prevent future potential crime on their behalf, but it will ensure actual crime that we know will occur because of the destabilization effects that it has on the economy and the increase in which it will cause in poverty.
Deporting illegal immigrants causes poverty?
Yes.
It doesn't give jobs back to people who actually live here and work here?
No.
Hold on. My argument was that if those people had never got in, illegal immigrants have never got in, the violent crime wouldn't have occurred, and and we wouldn't see that 1%. We're 2% more likely to commit violent crime, but if they had never come here, that violent crime would never have happened. Like, if we had a stronger border policy.
If they were never here, it never would have happened. Okay, but we can't wave a magic wand and ensure that they never came in here in the first place.
But we can prevent more from coming in. We can stop that, and we can send the ones that have committed their crimes back.
Okay, so about prevention for more from coming in, I agree. We should stop undocumented entry by expanding the legal means of entry into this country to as many people as fast as possible. Therefore, we would disincentivize all undocumented entry for anybody who wouldn't qualify through the vetting processes of legal entry. And at that point, the only people seeking undocumented entry that would be left would be the people that we actually wouldn't want in the country, like those with pretty bad crimes on their records. And then about, once again, the argument, we need to deport them now to prevent future potential crime on their behalf. Okay, well, I mean, I'm okay with that in the sense of deporting people with violent crimes already on their records because of how significantly higher of a likelihood they're at to recommit. But for everybody else, they should be able to stay here just like you and I. Like, you and I are at a higher likelihood than them for those future potential crimes. So if we were to want to remove people from the country because of a likelihood of future potential crimes, we'd probably want to start with you and me compared to them.
Is that stat that you keep saying, is that because there's more of us than there are of them, therefore we're likely to commit more crime because there's more of us? Or is that strictly based on
that's proportionality, and you should know this because I also told you that they account for 1% of violent crimes, meanwhile we account for 92. So if I wasn't going off of proportionality, but off of raw numbers, they'd be like 92 times less likely to commit violent crime. So no, it's off of proportionality.
You said 1%, 92?
If I was just going off the raw numbers, not accounting for proportionality, then they'd be 92 times less likely to commit a violent crime because they commit 1% of violent crimes, so we commit 92. That's not what I'm going off of. I'm going off of proportionality. And in consideration to their representation of the overall populace, they are 2.5 times less likely to commit a violent crime than natural U.S. born citizens.
I see. So if you support us having stronger border policies, why did you probably vote for Biden, would probably vote for Kamala?
Because they had stronger border policies. They did.
They did not.
Yes, they did.
More illegals came across the border in their regime, or their in Biden's time than ever before seen.
Okay, first, let me explain what I mean when I say stronger border policies. When I say stronger, I mean better. They definitely had better border policies because they wanted to focus on the long-term issue and the real cause of undocumented entry. I think the GOP just kind of wants to put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound because, we all know that the GOP voters aren't too smart. Wave a wand in their face, say wall, 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 they'll buy it. And I think more progressive voices are more focused on actual legitimate long-term solutions, right? Like, first, we need to address why there's so much undocumented entry in the first place. The answer to that question is the fact that the legal means of entry are so unattainable. So if we just address the root cause by making the legal means of entry into the country more attainable, we therefore should disincentivize and stop like 99% of undocumented immigration. Not saying that that's exactly what the Biden-Harris administration wanted to do, but they definitely got us closer in that direction with things like the bipartisan border bill that Trump killed, which would have spent trillions of dollars on more legal ports of entry into the country and more judges and more courts. So then wait times would have gone down. Therefore, undocumented entry would have gone down. And that is a significantly better solution than, anything Trump has proposed. Because Trump hasn't proposed anything to make legal immigration into this country faster or better.
But they still let more illegals in than ever before.
I also
it doesn't matter what they
I don't think that they let them in. I think that's a bullshit claim.
What? More illegal immigrants crossed the border than ever before in United States history.
Yeah, that doesn't mean, therefore, it was their fault. We had the highest level of unemployment in 100 years under Trump's first term. Was that his fault simply because it happened in the country when he was president? Yes or no?
No, but...
Oh, so you see the connection to your shitty logic?
No, I don't see it. That's not shitty logic.
Yes, you're saying under Biden... Yes, you're saying under Biden, bunch of undocumented entry. Therefore, Biden's fault. Under Trump, bunch of unemployment. Therefore, Trump's fault. Oh, apparently it's not.
You always use that as an argument, though.
Yes, I do, because it's the best possible counter response. I'm using my part as an argument.
No. You always use Trump's unemployment rate as an argument of why he's a bad president.
Oh, no, I don't.
Many times.
Oh, I don't believe that Trump caused that 14.8 record high level of unemployment.
Then why do you use it in arguments?
Because it's an internal critique of the view.
So you're using something that you don't believe as an argument for
It's
people
called
who are
an
less
internal
educated than
critique.
you.
No. It's called an internal critique. Okay? Let me explain to you what an internal critique is. This is very important for the
Please.
furtherance of our conversation. You're
I
suggesting
would
that because we had more undocumented entry under Biden, that it was therefore Biden's fault. The underlying logical principle that underpins that position would be, if something happens in America, then ultimately it is to blame on the president sitting in office while it happened. The way I'm critiquing your argument and that underlying logical principle, is by applying